Okay, I understand. Shall we get a divorce then? I placed the divorce papers on the table. What? What is this? Divorce papers. Oh, did you prepare them too? Should we use yours? No, that's not what I meant. Why are you doing this to me? Don't be so arrogant. Arrogant? That's because you look down on me, so it feels arrogant. Who's the one with the condescending attitude? But how exactly are you better than me? In every way. My name is Jack. It's been 10 years since I married my wife, Emily. She was my college classmate, but we weren't in a relationship in college. At the time, we were just classmates in the same social circles. During my second year of work, we unexpectedly reconnected at an alumni drinking party. From there, we immediately clicked, and before we knew it, we were happily married. My wife is a cheerful person. In my second year of struggling with work, she provided me with comfort and support that strengthened our bond, ultimately leading to our marriage. However, it seemed that my choice was wrong. The first 8 years of marriage seemed fulfilling, but things started to go wrong when my wife decided to change jobs. She had dreams for the future and was excited to change jobs, saying things like, "I'm being headhunted." However, it turned out that the new job paid only half of her previous salary, and she lost her motivation. From then on, my wife became somewhat eccentric and very self-deprecating. Despite this, I knew that my wife's cheerfulness had saved me before, so I psyched myself up to support her now. However, my efforts seemed to be in vain, and my feelings didn't reach through to her. My wife always came home late and was always tired. "Welcome back. I made stuffed cabbage rolls today. Your favorite." "No thanks, I don't want any." "What? Did you eat something already?" "Of course not. I don't have enough money to buy food." "Then you must be hungry. You should eat to get some energy." "You're such a pain in the ass. Do you think you can take advantage of me?" "I don't think that way at all." "I wonder." My wife retreated to her room without even making eye contact with me. Still, I persisted in making my wife's favorite dishes, but my wife would say a few words and then quickly retire to her room. I want to invite my wife out to eat on our days off, but she always shuts me down with, "We don't have that kind of money." I didn't know what to do anymore. Then, my wife made an unimaginable suggestion to me. Well, that's what made our relationship worse. On that day, my wife returned home unusually early, and her expression was very calm. I wondered if something good had happened, and I felt happy too. "Jack, I have a proposal." "Yeah? What is it?" "Could you quit your job?" "Huh? Quit my job? There's no way I could do that now." Emily's take-home salary was less than $1,800. Our rent is $600, and utility bills are about $200. Emily spends over $200 a month on cigarettes alone. Even just considering these expenses, that's $1,000 gone. Even if we try to keep our food costs low, it would be difficult to stay under $400. We spend $100 just on our phone bills for the two of us, which leaves only $300. It's definitely not enough. "It's tough for me that you earn more than I do. You earn around $2,000, don't you?" "That can't be true. I've been working for more than 10 years. She has no idea what she's talking about. My take-home pay is $3,500, but I sense that I shouldn't say that. "I can't take it anymore. That's why, if you just quit your job, I'll feel better." I got angry at this statement. She had been looking down on me from the beginning. She must have thought that she was supporting a husband who earned less than her. "I'm not quitting my job." "Huh? Why not?" "Because I love this job." "You don't love me?" "That's not the problem. I take pride in my work. That's why I never thought of quitting my job." Then my wife sighed and laughed. "You take pride in a job that pays you only $2,000 a month? That's ridiculous." "You don't even earn $1,800. If I said that, I would probably feel better, but if I tried that, I would stoop to her level, so I kept my cool and continued talking. My wife kept pressuring me to quit my job, but I never nodded my head in agreement. Then she started making excuses and stopped contributing to our household finances. I began to wonder why I was even with her. Then, when I started considering divorce, my wife brought up my father. My parents divorced while I was waiting to join the workforce. They cited personality differences as the reason for their divorce. There was no issue of infidelity or violence. It was an amicable divorce. When I heard about my parents' decision to get divorced, I was deeply surprised, because they seemed to be a very close couple. However, I am grateful that they waited for me to become a working adult before divorcing, and I have accepted their decision to separate. Now that they have finished raising children, if my parents want to start new and separate lives, I will support them. When I married my wife, I was living with my mother, and she never talked about my father in detail. Of course, my father attended the wedding, but I only saw my father a few times a year. Speaking of which, your father will be retiring soon, right?
What? Why do you ask?
No, nothing. He's been delivering newspapers for a long time. It was hard work, wasn't it?
My wife had a big misunderstanding about my father. It was back when we had just started dating.
Come to think of it, what does your dad do?
Oh, my father's in the newspaper.
Oh, he's a newspaper carrier? It's a tough job, isn't it? Jack, you must be grateful to your dad. Even though he doesn't make a high salary, he worked hard to raise you up to now, didn't he?
Well, she didn't really make a mistake, and if that's what she believes, then that's fine, I thought. And since the topic of my father never came up again, I never bothered to correct her. I still didn't know why my wife brought up my father at this time. And then, when I had forgotten all about the conversation, I began receiving silent phone calls on my smartphone. At first, I felt uneasy and slightly scared about why someone was making silent calls to me, but their number was displayed. I wondered if they wanted me to know who they were. As I started to think that way, I gradually became less concerned about these silent calls. Eventually, when they called, I switched to hands-free mode and left the call on. Well, it's not like I'm getting charged for the call. Then, I heard a cough from the phone that I had left on hold. The voice was male. Oh, so the caller was a man. Then, the call went dead after a voice said, "Honey, I'm home." Now, that was my wife's voice, wasn't it? I figured it out. Does she have a male acquaintance with whom she's so close that she says, "Honey, I'm home," to him? She urged me to quit my job with inexplicable reasons. She doesn't contribute financially to the household. I don't need that kind of wife anymore. So I promptly searched for a private detective and requested an investigation of my wife. It was difficult to find a good detective agency, and it took a long time to sign the contract. But 2 months after that, "I'm home" call, I was able to get enough evidence of her affair. And I was trying to find the right time to get a divorce, but my wife would beat me to it. It's an infuriating story, but my wife was the one who asked for a divorce.
Hey, how much is your father's retirement pay? He's already retired, right?
Huh?
No, I mean the amount of your father's retirement pay.
There's no retirement pay, though.
Huh? Then what do you think I've been with you for?
I don't understand what you mean.
I thought that the retirement pay for a newspaper delivery person wouldn't be much, but it's still better than getting nothing, right?
Well, yeah, it's better to get something than nothing.
So your father doesn't have any retirement pay either?
No, he doesn't.
What? I've put up with it for 10 years, and I've lost out. If you can't withdraw that money, then I don't need you anymore. We're getting a divorce.
Did you marry me just for money?
No, not everything was like that. I knew that newspaper delivery people don't get much retirement pay. It was your attitude over the past 2 years that made me lose interest in you. You always looked down on me since I failed to switch jobs. I was mentally drained. That's why I want compensation from you, and a divorce.
Oh, I see. Alright then, let's get a divorce. I placed the divorce papers on the table.
Huh? What's this?
It's the divorce papers. Oh, did you also prepare them? Do you want to use those instead?
No, that's not what I meant. Don't be arrogant.
Arrogant? That's because you look down on me. Who's the one being condescending here?
No, I mean, how are you better compared to me?
Everything. I don't look down on people like you do, and I would never commit adultery while being married. I will also claim compensation from you and your lover, so be prepared for that.
I see, so you knew about it all along.
I've been getting silent phone calls all day from your lover. Don't think you can get away with this. I'll chase you both to the ends of the earth and make sure you pay the alimony. I chased my wife out of the house and locked the door. 1 month later, the divorce was finalized. I was able to get satisfactory compensation from my ex-wife and her affair partner. It seemed like my ex-wife had saved up quite a bit of money. She transferred it all in one lump sum. I thought everything would finally calm down, but my ex-wife, without any sense of shame, launched a second round of attacks. Well, I won in a straightforward manner. It happened 2 months after the divorce was finalized. When I returned home, my ex-wife was standing in front of the entrance. I took my ex-wife, who really wanted to talk to me, to a nearby cafe and my wife suddenly burst into tears.
Why didn't you tell me?
Tell you what?
It's about your father.
My ex-wife showed me an article from a magazine. It contained an interview article with a picture of my father.
He's the editor-in-chief, right?
Oh, that. Yeah, that's right.
You lied to me. This is a matter affecting the compensation, right?
Then why don't you hire a lawyer and claim compensation? Well, that's only if you have the money. Besides, I didn't lie to you. My father sometimes delivers newspapers and magazines to clients. He's still delivering newspapers. I mean, you jumped to your own conclusions. Oh, and also, are you going to claim compensation for mental anguish? You're welcome to take it to court. I won't run away, so let's fight it out to the end.
Even if you say that, you will lose. You lied to me about your retirement benefits.
No, listen, my father hasn't retired yet, so there's not a lie about retirement benefits. Also, what does my father's retirement benefits have to do with us? Even if my father receives his retirement benefits, that's his money and has nothing to do with me.
Still, you will benefit from it, won't you?
Yeah, so what?
Then I should have benefited from it too.
You're someone who only thinks about money no matter where you go, don't you? You fell for that stupid concept of headhunting, and your salary plummeted. Wake up already. I have nothing else to say to you. Don't ever show up in front of me again. If you do, I'll sue you. I placed a $10 bill on the table and left the cafe. She was someone I had once loved, but she had fallen from grace in my eyes. Well, maybe I just didn't see it before. She was like that from the beginning. I'm still an amateur. First, I need to learn to see people for who they really are. She never came to visit me after that, but I saw her unexpectedly in a year's time in an unlikely place. That day, I was out shopping with a friend, and then I saw my ex-wife at the restaurant we were about to enter. She was wearing a uniform and serving customers. It seems that she's working as a waitress at a local diner. I was surprised that she had a job in a completely different field than before, but oh well, it's good that she's employed. She seemed to be living her life in her own way. My friend and I looked at each other, smiled wryly, and quietly left the place. After the divorce, I expanded my horizons and started exploring new opportunities to improve myself. I've become reluctant to get married because of what happened with my ex-wife, and I'll never remarry in the future. Working for a living? This is also one of life's choices. I want to make the most of my life by learning from my past mistakes. Spouses who rely on their father-in-law's retirement funds, she seems to have a very particular way of thinking. I hope Emily has a lot of happiness waiting for her in the future. Thank you for watching. How was today's story? Please subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next story.